The first theme is sustainability. Our first conversation will investigate the ways to improve the performance of sustainability in the vineyards and in wine production through a holistic approach that considers the impact of wine and sustainable production on the environment, economy, and society. With us today, we have two hosts. One is here in Milan with us, is Simone Sampò, President of the National Heliciculture Association. And we have connected Charlotte De Sousa, commercial export, the Champagne De Sousa. Welcome, Charlotte. Can you hear us? Hi. It's a great pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, Simone, you can join us here.
If you see me, it's okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, let's start with you, Charlotte.
Yeah, so I think I can introduce our company very quickly.
Yeah?
To explain why and how we work with our sustainability, but organic and biodynamic at home.
Yeah?
So we are a family company, so based in Champagne, in Avise, Côte des Blancs. We produce mainly Chardonnay, not only, but mainly Chardonnay. And was my father, 20 years ago, decided to turn in organic and biodynamic in Champagne, and he was part of the pioneer to create organic. So we are maybe in the 10 first winemaker to turn in organic. So in that case, it's not the new generation changed that. It was really my father. He had the idea before. So we get interest in organic and biodynamic in the year 2000. So 20 years ago. And we decide to slowly change part of the vineyard plot by plot. And we need 7 years to convert the vineyard. So it's not something you do like that. It's quite a long way. In 2007, our customer asked us to prove that what we making in the vineyard. So we decided to get to have a certificate. So we need 3 years of control before having the final diploma. So in 2010, we got the organic diploma. And after 3 years more, we get the biodynamic diploma. So 2010 organic and 2013 the Demeter biodynamic diploma.
Okay.
For Champagne, it's something was something very new because unfortunately in Champagne we are really late with organic and everything. We are just few. To give you some numbers, we are like less than 5,000 family producer. We say in French, récoltant manipulant, so like winemaker. And inside these 5,000, we are just 100 organic and like 35 biodynamics. Is like nothing.
Okay.
So it's not enough, unfortunately, but it's a good beginning. So for the Champagne, yeah, we are really late about that, and there is many explanation, but it's more and more now because the new generation, my generation, I'm part of the millenniums. I have 30 years old, so I think I'm in these things. We have a new idea, and all my colleagues, the young winemaker, they change and they want to be organic or respect the environment. Okay. So the things change very slowly, but change. So
I have a question for you, Charlotte. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
A great champagne for us is the result of high-quality viticulture in a zone that is perfectly suited to this type of wine in terms of the great varieties, soil characteristics, and a climate. What is your definition of sustainable? For us, we are talking about sustainability today, and it's very important to have your idea, your definition of sustainability.
But for me, it's something needs to be certificate to prove to the customer so what you explain is true. So you must have Diploma, like organic certification or biodynamic certification. And it's something together. It means it's not just a marketing things. It should be a philosophy. If you turn in organic, it's very tough work, very hard work. So you should like the philosophy and love what you do. So respect the vineyards, respect the plant as vine. Also be organic in your life with the food and cosmetic, with everything, because it's a kind of life. So for me, it's not for, champagne, it's a luxury product, but organic is not just marketing things.
Okay.
When you are a winemaker, you should love and do everything during your life, and really, follow what you tell, what you say, and believe in what you do. So the whole process must be respect, and if you really respect the vineyard, and you work with nature, so you must love nature. And
Okay. Charlotte, you have to know that today we have guests not just coming from the wine industry. And today we have here Simone Sampò, who is the president of the Heliciculture Association. Simone, Heliciculture is sustainable by definition, but what is your definition of sustainable?
Grazie. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm really pleased and honored to be here. First of all, I would like to tell you who we are. Oh, absolutely. And where we come from. I always make a small comparison. 40 years ago, that's when the slow food movement was established. Slow food is 6 kilometers away from Cherasco, where our institution is located. And this movement was looking at the slowness of snails, and it established something that is now very important. And now, 40 years later, we are looking at this very nice and friendly animal, the snail, and there is the golden section on its shell. And we have started a farming system, and now I'm going to tell you what is sustainability. It's a farming system without pollution, with very low water consumption. Just to produce 1 kilogram of red meat, you need 17,000 liters of water. For 1 kilogram of snails, it's less than 500 liters. We do not have waste. On the contrary, we use waste from agriculture, from local markets, from farmer markets, to feed our snails. We are not growing our snails with plant protection products, with PPPs. And what are we doing? We are establishing an alternative in protein to meat, to beef. What is the other alternative? Is beans and pulses. A snail has 1.4% of fat. And sustainability is at the heart, at the core of what we do and of our philosophy. Well, let's say that when we talk about sustainability today, it is very interesting to talk about your model and this economic system that you have established. This is a system that has not stopped in agriculture or just at agriculture. Once we have the snail, we use all of it. So you transform everything and you don't waste anything. We use the shells to have scrubs in cosmetics. We use, the escargot de Bourgogne, for example. We use the meat, we use the eggs, we use the saliva. We have a spa for snails. So this is the storytelling. The story that we tell, and you can make business without ruining and spoiling your planet. We use saliva for cosmetics, for drugs, for wellness. There is a massage. Just think about it. We use the empty shells of snails in infusion in oil, using live snails on the chakra points of the body. So this is the snail therapy experience. Why this? Because people need to listen to stories and to have experiences. I do not hide the fact that we had spin-offs in other businesses, from education for children to pet therapy for children with mental disabilities, research and development. Just think that we managed to bring our snail to 13 different industries. So what I'm saying, today it is possible, and we must make business without ruining our planet. We must look at business from a different point of view, and we must be brave enough and dare, because snails have always been there, and we are giving them back their significance and their identity. The method was established in the Pollenzo University, where slow food is based, clean, good and fair. If you farm in a certain way, you must be supported this way. And this is very important. Only 4 years ago, looking at those snails from a different perspective, we set up a business model which today gives back dignity to people. And giving back dignity to people, well, and here there's now something that I would like to say. Okay, today we say sustainability. Everybody says sustainability, and I apologize. Coca-Cola says that the plastic they use can be recycled, but we must go beyond that. We must be part of a circle. What is the helix economy? It's a 3D circular economy which establishes chemistry between agriculture, industry and services. It's a new way for looking at businesses. We must look at our soils, we must love our soils, wine, snails. We are all doing something that is part of the soil, that comes from the soil, and we are all aware of the fact that we must bend down to the soil. And unless you have those passion, those love, and you must tell the story of all the passion you have when you work. Well, this is totally true, Simone. Charlotte?
About what sustainable, organic and biodynamic wines mean. They often get mixed up and are used interchangeably. But they actually mean very different things. What is your opinion about this? Is it first of all a commercial trend, but sometimes there are misunderstandings?
We should explain to the customer that what is organic and biodynamics or sustainability, because it's true that it's not always clear for customer mind. So we explained very quickly that in simple way at home, as you explained, that is no pollution, no chemical product in the vineyard for my case. And we use nature to save nature. So biodynamics, you go further in the process because we use plants, we use some minerals, we can follow the moon calendar. So I can explain more if you need. Biodynamics is really a connect to nature to help the vines, the nature to grow and make grapes for making the wine after. So it's more than just sustainability, is going into the process and try to follow from the beginning to the end and really try to do the most as possible with no pollution. And respect the nature.
Yeah. So it's been 20 years that you turned biodynamic and you are certified, correct?
20 years that we have biodynamics methods, but we are certified only since 10 years, officially.
Okay. And What is the plus that you feel to have in the market with the biodynamic certification?
Now it's a plus. 15 years ago was not.
Yes, of course.
Because it was really the beginning, and now organic, it's a trend. Everybody says that they are ecologic, they take care, they take care with plastic and box and everything. So now when we say organic to people, they say, oh, congratulations, your organic is very good. Oh, me too, I have some herbs on my balcony, something. Say, yeah, but it's already 10 years ago. And yeah, 10 years ago, the people, they think we was crazy because we're using plants in the vineyards, and they did not know and did not understand what's the organic. I mean, for Champagne, for France, maybe I can talk. So now it's good and helps the market because it's more in the trend and in the mind of people to take care, because of all the issue we had with the traceability of meat, of all the flu we had with chicken and veal and everything. Now people, they want to take care of what they drink and what they eat. So it's very important. And now they say, yeah, they know more what we're talking about, and they more take care. They know more what they buy.
And this has an incredible storytelling to Charlotte, because you use the lunar calendar, you use many old practices. So tell us more about this.
So yeah, in fact, the old methods are always the better, because at the beginning, when my grandparents they beginning to make the champagne, we had like no technology, no modern things, and they making wine, and the wine existing since many years ago. And finally, the new technology was maybe help us in a short way, but for a future and more long things for the planet, finally the old method are the best. So we follow the moon calendar because everybody knows that the moon are a lot, they are acting on the sea, the water. And so for the vineyard, they acting on the liquid, so the sip. So when, for example, we're cutting the vineyard for the winter moment, we should take care for not give pain to the vineyard. So we can cut the vineyard when the moon are decreasing, for example. So all the sip, they're going down to the roots, and the vineyard didn't cry. We say the vineyard cry if you're cutting too early in the season. So it's all these little details make that the vine, they feel better, so the grapes will be better quality. And it's a combination of little details, I think, make that the wine is better at the end in quality.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte. Simone,
this is a sustainable, your model is sustainable, not simply in farming, but up to the moment when end consumers receive your products. You think that the wine industry can learn something from what you're doing with your model? Well, first of all, I noticed, hearing Charlotte, a great vicinity between the wine and the snails. She talked about ancient techniques, and in snail farming, we managed to make our snails lose the earthy aroma, and now they taste like nuts and honey, and we managed to make this huge leap. The International Institute of Heliciculture followed a new line, the line of symbiotic. Well, I don't want to speak against organic, but personally, we needed, and people need, something, a technique, that instead of saying, you should not do this, you should not do that, they want something when we can tell, you should do this. Okay, sowing, we are sowing looking at the moon, because the substance, the past, is fundamental, but symbiotic, and through Mycorrhizae, we have managed to make this huge leap. What are mycorrhizae? Those mushrooms, when you are sowing, they expand the root system of plants and they enrich the biome of our soil. A stronger biome. Well, today one of the biggest issues is the following. In Europe, we have excellent products and we must keep them. What is missing today? We do not have land mapping. We should start from land mapping and preserve the excellent character of our soils for wine and for snails. This is a great match. What are we doing? We are mapping our land, and thanks to digital, thanks to satellite, we want to be able to pollute less and have strong signals. Modern farming will reach this level, and technology will help us make a great step forward. But technology without substance, technology without values, for example, symbiotic, organic, or R&D with the research institutes. We should fight for this so that the beautiful European products keep their excellent level of quality. Well, this is very interesting. We can say that technology is really part of everybody's work. And what is the most surprising technology that you have introduced and that could become part of other sectors of agriculture and farming? Well, during the lockdown, we had to stop and we had to think. So, what has brought snails to create spirals and to spin off in so many sectors of the economy? And it was a new way of extracting saliva, which was really technological. And then we said, okay, we have satellites, why don't we map the land? Land mapping, which is also getting into the wine industry now. We must be able to keep our soils under control and to control what is happening in our soils. We must be able to save our soils and to clean our soils. Soil, the ground is fundamental. Wine and snails, well, we are always feeding the soil. We try to enrich the soil. That is the reason why we decided to go symbiotic. We have established a new movement. The new movement is Helix, and it comes from the legacy of slow food, that combination between man and soil, and between humans and soil. And we would like to add digital. We would like to have humans, digital, and soil, and the earth. And the awareness that something has changed. There is no going back now. We see digital platforms, they enable communication. Communication is faster. And agriculture, thanks to sensors in the soil, we can have data that until a few years ago were unthinkable. And this new movement, which is called Helix, which means spiral basically, is a new movement that we can use for eco-branding. We have created a line of cosmetics using the Nebbiolo grapes and our saliva. Now we are creating micellar water with San Bernardo water and our saliva from our snails. So the more stories you have, the more movies you can make. I say you can give stories, and using digital this can become real. So symbiotic, organic, land mapping. We must catch this train. There's only one Australian company that has the maps of all Europe. We cannot waste any more time. We must rush and we must start looking at agriculture in a new way. And technology and digital will help us make a quality leap if we want to make it.
Charlotte, we talked before about old centuries, practices, but what is the role of technology in such a sustainable company as De Sousa?
I have another example. We talk about the old technology, and this is what we talk about, the mycorrhizae we have at home here is the perfect example.
Okay.
In fact, we work by horse in the house. We just buy 2 horses to walk in the very old way, to have less machine, to have less compaction of the soil. And we create a cuvée called mycorrhizae because we want to develop this natural life from the soil. And it's exactly what Simone tell, work the soil and come back to have the microbiologic life into soil. So they are the old methods. For new things, we don't have so much. In Champagne, there is now some robotic apps. They can make plowing of soil instead of the tractors. So we don't have it at home. It's too expensive machine. But there is new things coming to help the agriculture and viticulture, like the satellite to make some map of vineyards, some drone to see the disease of vines. We don't have this at home, but there is new things that can help. If let's see about the sustainability, if they can help the sustainability or not. But there is technology can help to grow, but just grow vineyards.
Yes. This is all to help even the preservation of the land, which is the base on which you build everything. What is your idea? Because there's a big debate about how to preserve the land, even in Champagne. What is your idea and what you are actually doing? Because it's interesting not just to be a single brand doing this kind of job, but trying to influence all the others.
The land is the most important because the soil was here a long time ago before the human was there. So we should, in fact, really respect the soil. So for me, the organic is the best. Instead of there is no pollution, no chemical products stay in the soil, not going to the water. So with the organic methods, there is just we use nothing, no pollution. So we try to learn to school to the young future winemaker and also the winemaker of now how to grow the best way. It's not easy, of course. It's a long process, too long. Unfortunately, very long to teach people. But really try to keep the soil the more natural as possible with no pollution inside. So it's not easy. It's a long, big work, but we try to explain to the future generation, the young child and the student at wine school, that there is you can work in a different way and it's possible. There is people like us, they can succeed, so it's possible. It's not easy, but try to don't make pollution anymore in the soil.
Okay, Charlotte, do you think that the new generation, the millennial, the Z generation, are more interested into these things than the past consumers?
I think yes, because we teach them. When I was at school 15 years ago, was really the beginning of explaining that to the student. Now it's more focused, and the student people, they can make some training about only organic. So it's a long way. It took a generation to change mind of people, but the things change and they are more interested because we talk more about it. At school now, the young child, they learn how to make the difference with box, with plastic and glass and everything. So we teach the young to take care. So I think, it took a generation to change, and I hope the new generation will be the change generation.
We hope so, and we are here for this, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And today, Simone, noi stiamo
Today, Simone, we are talking to a new generation of consumers, a generation that, regarding you, will discover a product that was always considered a gourmet product because escargot, you know. But you are revolutionizing also the consumption of snails. What is the approach of young people towards such a specific product as yours? Well, we have created a digital platform. So we have a digital platform which gave us the opportunity to enter the world of restaurants. And so we can work together with the big chefs, you know. We come from the Lange region, and we use the main restaurants in the Lange, where we began cooking our snails, maybe in a way which is simpler, because, you know, a snail is a poor product. Well, it's always been a gourmet product, but it comes from the aftermath of World War II, when people were going in the woods to find something to eat, and they would find snails. And this new way of cooking snails, well, now we have invented the Snail Burger, which is a fun product, and it is healthy because it's only 1.4% fat. And change is telling us that the world is becoming obese, that beef will not be sufficient for everyone, and we are getting insects in our food, you know. And before we eat rockets, we should, or grasshoppers, we should present snails in a young way, and the consumption will increase. In these conferences, in these meetings, I always find something new, and I would like to launch a challenge. So, more than a challenge, a partnership with the world of wine. Snails are the best sentinel animal that you can have. Why don't we put sensors in snails to see the degree of pollution and how we can improve the biome of the soil and of the vine? And another very important topic, in my opinion, is that we could use saliva as a natural preservative for our grapes, for the grapes in our vines. You should know that snail saliva creates a foil. In the past, people would say, if you eat live snails, then your stomach will feel better. Therefore, because it creates a sort of foil. So we are now working together with the alba truffle. If you put the alba truffle in snail saliva, it will increase its shelf life. And with grapes, with really the grapes, with the actual grapes, we could do something. We should study it. We should use R&D, of course. Maybe we can replace all chemical products in the world of wine. Some people say, I like co-branding very much, but there is probably something that on our shelves we have the universe, Fibonacci, you know, the happy reduction of growth that can lead to happiness. But this saliva of the snail, and if we can have synergies with the world of wine, the wine industry is fantastic, and we could think about something young, something to change without destroying our planet. What do you think of it?
Brilliant idea. We hope that maybe next year we will present this innovation, because maybe we can do something experimental. Maybe in Champagne with Charlotte. Charlotte, we have connected from all around the world many people, many of the ones that we call winers, so all the people working in a wine industry. What is your message for the future sustainability? What would you like to see in the next months, in the next year, between now and the next Wine Generation Forum, in the changing of the behavior of the people and of the wine enterprises?
Of course, more and more people turn in organic or biodynamics for vineyards, because it's still very slow, not enough people. We are just a few, very with the Diploma. So I know it's not easy. It's a question of economics, question of people. You should have more people working, but it's possible. We are in a very cool region here in Champagne. The rain is every day, everywhere. So it's not easy, but it's possible. So could be good for the... if you should have somebody start to give the idea to other people to follow your ideas and make more and more respectful wine. So my wish could be more the young generation, more they could be more interested in organic and more organic wine. And it's difficult to have everybody organic, of course, but more we will be and better it will be for the health of people, for the wine, to have no pollution. So I hope we could be more and more winemaker in that case.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we finished the first talk. I want to give a big thanks to my guest, to Charlotte De Sousa. And we hope to see you next year in Milan and to taste your wine also, because it's always a great experience. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much, Simone, for joining us, for your story. And good luck. There's so much to do with Heliciculture, and I think it would be an interesting thing to analyze every year during the Milan Wine Week.
Grazie, Federico.
Thank you very much, Federico. Thank you, Charlotte. It was a pleasure to hear the story of such a young girl with a wine, a champagne. Well, people say that escargot and champagne match very well. Yeah, and I hope it will become like that in the world. And I thank you very much, and snails are the future. Thank you.